Welcome. It's time once again for another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. So gather the family around, get your parents, your grandparents, your children, and everyone else to come and listen to reviews of three incredible books. This time out, they're all nonfiction and they are all published by DK Books. Now, anyone who's read a DK book knows how high quality they are. They're amazing reference books. They've done quite a few Smithsonian books. But personally, what I think they excel in are when they do tributes to the comic book world. They've had dozens of such books, and each one is definitely a collectible book, one you would want to add to your library and you never want to part with. So the first book I'm drawing to your attention is Captain America, The Ultimate Guide, the new edition. And this is written by Matthew Forbick, Alan Cowsill, Melanie Scott, and Daniel Wallace. And it retails for $31.99, and it is worth every penny. After DC Comics created Superman and Batman, Marvel, which was originally known as the Timely Group, had to figure out what superhero could they create. Well, Captain America was created, the red, white, and blue. And this was before the United States went into the Second World War. They wanted someone who stood for, well, justice and integrity. And so Captain America was created along with his sidekick, Bucky Barnes. And actually, Captain America, his real identity was Steve Rogers. He was a 98-pound weakling, and Dr. Abraham Erskine gave him this special serum to make him a superhero, and it worked. And soon he was fighting the Nazi menace, and he was also fighting the Red Skull, who was part of the Nazi regime, and there was Baron von Strucker too. And so over the years, and Captain America has existed for nearly 80 years. And in the book here, there are tributes to his past. It shows a lot of the older comic panels and the newer ones. Now, Captain America has died. He's been reborn. There's been new Captain Americas. But no matter how many people become Captain America, or no matter how many incarnations, Captain America has always been one of the favorite Marvel comic book characters. So if you're a fan of Captain America, you definitely need to add this to your collection, because you can't go wrong with Captain America and his shield of justice. The second DK book of note is the DC book, A Vast and Vibrant Universe, Simply Explained. And it's written by Stephen Wiacek. And this book retails for $36.99. So if you're a fan of DC, and there's a lot of DC fans and a lot of Marvel fans, but this book looks at the history of the DC comic book characters. And of course, as noted, they did start before Marvel and their Timely Corporation, which was part of the Marvel group originally. But of course, Superman, Batman, and then other superheroes came, such as Wonder Woman and The Flash. And they helped set the DC universe in motion. And DC's been around for over 80 years, a little longer than Marvel has. And anyone who's ever read a DC comic knows they're very different from Marvel. And the characters are a bit different. They've had a very unique range of characters, such as Challengers of the Unknown, Black Hawk. They've also had Metamorpho, the Doom Patrol, Metal Men, and of course Superman's sidekicks like Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane and Perry White, who's the editor of the Daily Planet. So, but this looks at all the DC universes, the multiverse and the omniverse. And so DC has always been well represented in the comic world, and they've evolved as well. With time, the storylines have been more sophisticated, and they've kept readers from the past. They brought a lot of new readers on, but this book basically is an overview of the DC Comics universe, and you really, really cannot go wrong with the DC book. If you're a fan of DC, and I know the millions are, that you will definitely want to add this book to your collection as well, because it is authoritative, it's well researched, and it brings to light past and present. So this is book number 2. And the third highly recommended book this week is Marvel Universe, Map by Map, an atlas from Asgard to Wakanda by James Hill and Nick Jones. And again, DK Books is the proud publisher of this, and this book retails for $58. And it is well worth it, because it is another exhaustive look into the world of Marvel. Now, this book basically tells you all the locales that the stories have been set in. The very first chapter looks at Manhattan, which is home, of course, to the Fantastic Four and the Baxter Building. But long before that, one of Marvel's first supergroup was known as the Invaders, and it had Captain America, Prince Namor the Submariner, and the Human Torch. And they added people later on, but Manhattan was their focal point. Of course, Spider-Man was in Manhattan, the Avengers were in Manhattan, but there have been other major locales in the Marvel Universe, such as Asgard, where Thor and Loki had their main base. And there are quite a few tales from Asgard, as anyone who read Journey into Mystery found out. And then when Thor had his own comic book, we had tales from up there, and Balder the Brave and all the other characters of Asgard. But it also looks at Wakanda, which is home to the Black Panther, this small African nation. And that has been a base for a lot of Marvel's more modern day adventures, plus of course the movie The Black Panther. The book also looks at distant realms as well, such as the moon and other areas where Marvel action takes place. And there's certainly no shortage of locales. Anyone who's read Marvel Comics knows it is definitely out of this world in many ways, because there have been distant worlds as well too that have been the focal point for a lot of their storylines. So I'll just give you a sample here. The artwork is more up to date, specially commissioned artwork with, from the past. It's brought up to date. And I can't show you every page, that would take too long. But anyways, that is definitely a book that you will want to add to your collection, as with the other 2. So those are the 3 books this week, as I mentioned, all from DK Books. And they definitely excel when it comes to creating comic book classic coffee table books. So I hope you go out, and when you do your book planning, that you will definitely add these to your collection. So thank you again for taking the time to watch my videos online here, and I do welcome your comments as always, positive, negative, or whatever you want to tell me. Just be nice. So anyways, I'll be back real soon. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, stay social distancing, and please stay in touch. Bye for now.